Again, good morning, grade 7. We are now in the module 1 of fourth quarter, weeks 1 to 2. So, today is April 12, 2021. We started at exactly 9:10, and I have only 3 students. Okay, so let's continue. By the way, the module 1 is entitled The Philippines and its Resources. So, we're talking about the Philippine environment, and we'll be talking about the resources. So how this interaction also affect us. Okay, even the atmospheric layers, we'll be talking about that also because it also affects the environment of the Philippines. Location of the Philippines. Can you still hear me? Grade 7. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
By the way, Kisha, thank you for sharing the link. Location of the Philippines. The Philippines is an archipelagic country located in the Southeast Asia. It is positioned at the western edge of the Pacific Ocean. So meaning to say, be- because we are actually located near the Pacific Ocean, tendency is we have a lot of typhoons. Because typhoons is generated in the Pacific Ocean or Pacific region. Okay? It is among the largest archipelagos in the world with about 7,107 individual islands and still, okay, and still counting. Because remember that Earth is still moving until now, and these plates are actually moving also. Okay, we're located on different. We're located in an archipelagic area or archipelago. There are three main islands or island groups, namely the Luzon group, which includes Luzon, Mindoro, and Palawan. The Visayas group, which includes Panay, Masbate, Negros, Cebu, Bohol, and Samar, which are actually located in the Visayas group. And the Mindanao group, which includes Mindanao and the islands of the Sulu Sea or in the Sulu Sea. When you look at the globe, you can actually see many vertical lines in it. These lines are called meridians. Okay, which are the lines that run between the points that represent the geographic north and south poles of the earth. Okay. The lines from the north and the south, these are called meridians. Okay. These are meridians. Okay. From here, can you see my illustration? From here, going to the south, from the north going to the south, these are called meridians. Okay. The distance around any circle, including Earth, is measured in degrees. Okay. All circles contain 360 degrees or the complete circle. Okay. Each meridian marks 1 degree of longitude around the Earth. Okay, longitude. We're talking about longitude. Longitude is from north to south. Okay. Latitude is from east to west. Again, longitude is from north to south, and latitude is from east to west. Okay. The prime meridian is labeled 0 degrees or degree longitude. Meridians to the east of the prime meridian is called the east longitude, and meridian to the west are called the west longitudes. Because half the distance around the circle is 180 degrees, meridians to the east and west longitude go from 0 to 180 degrees. Half the circle. Okay? There are also horizontal lines that run from east to west, the one that I'm telling you a while ago. Okay, across the globe and across the map. These lines are called parallels. The parallels are used to measure in latitude, okay, which is the measured distance north and south from the equator. The equator is labeled 0 degrees or degree latitude. Parallels above the equator are called the north latitude, okay? Whereas parallels below the equator are called south latitude. So they are divided into two, the north and the south. Are you still with me? I only have two students here. Just give me a minute. So let's continue. A hemisphere refers to one half of the Earth, north or south, the equator, or east or west, the prime meridian. Notice that the Philippines is located in both northern and eastern hemispheres. Natural resources. Let's tackle now the natural resources of the Philippines. Earth is like a giant warehouse of useful materials. A renewable resource can be replaced by a natural process within a relatively short period if it is renewable. Okay? If we're talking about renewable resources, this can be replaced by a natural process within a relatively short period of time. The water cycle constantly moves water between the atmosphere and Earth's surface, so freshwater reservoirs are more or less continuously charged. Okay. So what are the different examples of these renewable resources? We have water. What else? Um, what else? Wind. Okay, wind turbines. Okay, wind can be considered as renewable because it can be renewed. Okay, over a period of time, over a short period of time. Water also in the dam or in Maria Cristina Falls, for example, this can be replaced over a short period of time. Natural resources that cannot be replaced as fast as they are consumed are called non-renewable resources. Okay. Again, non-renewable resources, these are natural resources that cannot be replaced as fast as they are consumed. Just like fuels such as oil, coal, and gas are non-renewable resources. Okay? Soil is a non-renewable resources. It takes billions of years to create a coal, an oil, or a gas. These are called energy reservoir. Okay? These are energy sources. Soil is an renewable resources because we cannot create soil over a period of time or a short period of time. We also create soil for how many billions of years? Okay? Because it takes hundreds of years for a small amount of soil to be formed. New soil is formed from a breakdown of rocks and the remain of the dead organisms, okay, or minerals. So when these plants die, they tend to deposit or they will be deposited in the soil. Okay, their remains will be deposited in the soil, and the minerals that these plants contain will be um, put back to soil. And this is now the cycle. People need natural resources in order to survive. For thousands of years, Earth's supplies of natural resources seemed unlimited. There was enough clean air and water for all organisms on Earth. Forests provided trees for fuel, lumber, and shelter. Animals grazed on open grasslands. So what happened next? Food crops are grown naturally in fertile soil. As the number of people on Earth increases, okay, again, as the number of people on Earth increases, the rate at which resources were used have also increased. What has caused this to happen? First, human population is rapidly growing. Okay. Second, the birth of capitalism requires a greater use of natural resources. And third, people often use resources in careless or wasteful manner. Let's discuss first um, the first cause. The human population is rapidly growing. Okay, when human population is rapidly growing, tendency is we will consume a lot of these natural resources. Okay. Second, the birth of capitalism requires a greater use of natural resources. Just like some of the areas in Cebu City, for example, becomes now an area for trade and industry. Okay. It actually transforms into a mall, a, 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 a factories. Okay. So these are the birth of capitalism. Becomes now a money generating area instead of a natural resources. Third, people often use resources in a careless and wasteful manner. Just like you, when you're using water. Okay, you waste a lot of water. That is one careless way or wasteful manner in using water. Here comes the concept of conservation. Okay. What do you think is the conservation? Conservation is the wise use of natural resources so that it will not be used up too soon or used in a way that it will damage the environment. Thus, we should become more concerned about conserving our natural resources. Both renewable and non-renewable resources should be conserved so that the future generations may still benefit from them. Okay? Again, here comes the concept of conservation. Conservation of the natural resources, both renewable and non-renewable resources. Soil. Soil is a non-renewable resource and must be conserved because it is difficult to replace. Correct. It can take around or take 200 or 300 years or even thousands of years to form 1 centimeter of topsoil. It depends upon. Okay? Topsoil only. Okay, how about the other layers of soil? We'll be talking about the layers of soil later. The weathering of rocks on Earth's surface forms soil. Weathering of rocks. Weathering means the breaking down of rocks. Okay? Living organisms depend on soil directly or indirectly as the source of nutrients. Indirectly, in the sense that we are consuming plants, because plants directly um, need soil for their nutrients. Okay? Soil supplies plants with materials and holds water needed for their growth. Animals eat plants and other animals to obtain the materials they need to live or to survive. Okay, this is now the concept of food chain, and everything is connected to everything. Sometimes soil remains on top of its parent rock or the rock from which it was formed. The soil is called This soil is called the residual soil. Residual soil has a mineral and chemical composition derived from the parent rock it covers. Sometimes soil is carried by water and wind. So this is now erosion and transported away from its place of origin and is thus called transported soil. Transported soil can be very different from the layer of rock it covers. The layer of rock beneath the soil is the bedrock. If you take a vertical section, later on, I will let you see the vertical section of the soil. You take the vertical section of the soil from the ground, you would observe the different layers or horizons in the soil. This is called soil profile, okay? Which is an important tool in managing nutrients into the soil and potential or land use potentials. By the way, what is the purpose? What do you think is the purpose? Why do we need to have the soil profile? This is for us to know or to manage the nutrients into the soil and determine its potential for farming. A soil profile has five master horizons, which are represented by letters O, A, E, B, and C. However, not all soil profiles contain these horizons. The soil profiles differ from one location to another. Okay, it depends upon. No? If the soil is located in mountainous area, it is really complete. Okay, because mountainous area have left some of these areas are not actually disturbed. Okay. These are the horizons or these are the soil profile. So you can see O is the humus or organic matter, surface litter, partially decomposed organic matter. It is actually in the O horizon. A is the topsoil. Okay. A horizon or topsoil contains humus, living creatures, in the sense that there are a lot of bacteria living there and also fungus and inorganic materials. Okay. Humus. This is the black soil. Okay. We before when I was still in elementary, we tend to look for a humus, this black soil, for our garden. We have a gardening when I was still in elementary. It's a good practice actually. E or horizon E or E horizon. This is a zone for leaching. Okay. Materials move downward. D horizon. This is a subsoil. Okay. Materials there are iron, aluminum, humic compounds are accumulated, and clay leached down from E to E horizon. Remember that this is also driven by gravity. So materials from the top will be pulled down by gravity, by the presence of gravity, and going to the last horizon. Okay. Let's tackle now C horizon. This is the weathered parent material. Okay. Partial breakdown of inorganic materials. And the last is the R horizon or the bedrock. It is composed now of rocks. Okay. So these are your soil profile. O horizon is a surface horizon composed of organic materials in different stages of decomposition. This is the area where dead organic matter um, are actually put or actually located. Okay, and stages of decompositions are there. The A horizon, on the other hand, also called the topsoil, is the surface horizon that largely consists of sand, silt, and clay that are rich in minerals. It is also has appreciable amount of humus. Humus is the dead organic matter, making it fit for growing plants. It is also because of humus that the topsoil has the dark color. Okay, we tend to coin humus before when I was still in elementary as black soil. We tend to collect this black soil for our plants in our garden. The E horizon, on the other hand, is a subsurface horizon that has been heavily leached. Leaching is a process where insoluble nutrients are lost from the soil because of precipitation or irrigation. Or it is also called um, leaching. Okay. This layer is typically light in color because it is already leached. Okay. Let's move forward. Any questions so far? Grade 7. The cause why this layer leach is because of erosion. Erosion alone. And it is also driven by gravity. The B horizon is a subsurface horizon that has accumulated from the layers above. It is where certain minerals that have leached from the layers above are being deposited. Okay? The sea horizon is the least weathered among all the horizon. It is also called saprolite. Saprolite, it is an unconsolidated loose parent material. Soil continuously but slowly to the withering or the gradual breakup of rocks by means of physical, chemical, and biological processes. The accumulation of materials through the action of water and wind and gravity also contributes to the formation of the soil. Here comes the concept of soil conservation. Due to the importance of soil to humans, because we're eating plants, certain conservation measures must be taken to protect soil. Soil conservation requires on how land can be used in the best possible ways. In many areas, topsoil is being lost because of erosion. Erosion is the carrying off of rock and soil by water or wind. Okay. Running water does most of the work of erosion during heavy rainfall. If you are going to observe, water rolls off the land and carries with rock, soil, and debris. Water that runs across the land surface is called the surface runoff. Again, water that runs across the land surface is called the surface runoff. River is an example of running water that carries away materials. Okay, large and heavy materials or particles roll, slide, and bounce as they are carried by running water, while fine and light fragments are carried by suspension or by suspension. The suspended particles give the water a cloudy and muddy appearance because they are suspended in the water. Preventing erosion. This is really one of the interesting topic in soil conservation. The terraces is one of the way the concept of human on soil conservation. Somewhat resemble a staircase of a house. One terrace is planted with rice, then separated by a steep drop to the next terrace. The Ifugaos built their famous rice terraces because they lacked plains to plant rice. So in this way, we can actually prevent erosion because you planted some rice there. And the roots of this rice or the rice field then holds the land in place. Farming in these rice terraces is one type of contour farming. Okay, this is a contour farming. Crops are planted on the sloping land so that each row runs around the slope at the same level. This method of farming helps prevent soil erosion on the mountain sides. Remember that this soil also moves through gravity. And because this soil moves through gravity, there should be something that should hold the soil in place. Here comes the contour farming. It holds the soil in place. Strip cropping is used to prevent also the washing down of soil after slopes have been smoothed and planted. The farmer plants a row of crops such as corn in one strip and another kind of crop in separate strip. This is to what? This is also to conserve the soil, the nutrients of the soil. Okay? Some plants remove more of one kind of mineral. Okay? To prevent the continuous loss of the same mineral from the soil, farmers do not plant the same crops so as they maintain the soil fertility. Otherwise, if they will plant the same crop, this soil will lose its minerals, okay, or fertility. This practice is called the crop rotation. This is common, okay, meaning for one type of crop is planted for one reason, and another crop is planted for the next season. Okay, a rock has no commercial value and removed from the mine is called the waste rock. Okay. Waste rocks may contain trace amounts of metals that are present in the minerals or in minerals. Therefore, it must be properly managed to reduce the risk of water pollution because it can pollute water. It is generally unsuitable for farming and other uses such as the road construction. One example is the graba. Okay. Quarrying and mining, particularly strip mining, leave soil unprotected and accelerate erosion. Okay? The Mining Act of the Philippines ordered that the mine out areas be rehabilitated. Some large mining companies have already successfully rehabilitated mined out areas by planting vegetation. Okay? While mined out areas are not rehabilitated, erosion worsens. It can be eroded. That is why it needs plant in order for the soil to be intact, okay, to be rehabilitated after being mined. Recycling. Land pollution is the contamination of land surface or surfaces which may be direct or indirect cause of improper disposal of domestic, industrial, and agricultural wastes. Okay, just like what humans are doing now. Okay? They're actually disposing their waste or waste materials in areas that are not supposed to be dumped into. Okay? Waste can be classified as either biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Meaning to say, when you say biodegradable, these are scrap food or can be decomposed by bacteria, fungi, and other organisms. Biodegradable. Non-biodegradable waste, on the other hand, cannot be decayed through the natural process in short period of time. Okay? Because this non-biodegradable waste cannot be destroyed or cannot be decayed over a period of time by natural processes, it needs to be recycled. That is why. That is why in your areas, in your barangays, they tend to separate the non-biodegradable and the biodegradable. Okay. The purpose of that is for the biodegradable to be what? put in a area for decomposition. And your non-biodegradable will be placed in area for recycling. Okay. Litter or trash, waste paper, or garbage lying unscattered about. Recycling is the process of reusing a given product which may be